is my review of the MGMT album Oracular Spectacular. It was released in 2007 and produced by Dave Friedman, might be saying that wrong, and MGMT. So yeah, I forgot to say what band I was reviewing next at the end of my last reviews. I was kind of just sick going in, or all last week doing those videos, and just completely forgot to mention this. So yeah, doing MGMT, one of the few newer bands I'm going to review. Like I said a lot before, I'm not really a big fan of a lot of newer music. Kind of like after the 90s, what I like starts to like decrease dramatically. But these guys I got into, my cousin I think showed my brother. I don't know if he showed him like all the singles at once, but I remember my brother coming back from my cousin's and being like, "Oh, listen to this," and he got on YouTube and brought up a video of Kids. It wasn't actually the music video, it was some weird video with like people with, they had like painted faces. I think they kind of looked like cats, if I remember right, but at the time we thought that was the video. And it wasn't a long time later until I saw the actual official video. But I listened to all the singles off this album, got into those, and then I went out and bought it. I don't remember really when I went and bought this, but I remember listening to it a lot. At the time, I was still kind of like skipping around to certain tracks on albums that I liked, so there were certain songs on here that I listened to less than some of the other ones back when I was listening to it a ton. So yeah, kind of a weird band, and it's like a two-person band, but they're like other instruments. I don't really know like who plays that stuff on the album or what's actually instruments and what's like other stuff, but I know that like live they have other people. I haven't seen them live, but I've watched videos. So for the band members, I'm probably gonna like butcher their last names. You have Andrew Van Weingarten and Ben Goldwasser, and like Andrew does like the singing, and I think the guitar playing, and Ben is the keyboard player. So those are the two main guys, or the two guys in the band. The album opens with Time to Pretend. This I think was the second song I heard from this album. I saw the video first, really kind of trippy video, has them like riding on cats and stuff. Always liked that video because of that. Yeah, it's a really cool song to start off the album. There's this kind of cool like keyboard intro thing that I've always really liked. It just kind of goes throughout in different parts, and yeah, I've always really liked the lyrics. It has kind of funny lyrics. I really like the line about the playground and the animals and digging up worms. I think it's got like the ABBA Dancing Queen drum beat going on, it sounds like. Second track, Weekend Wars, another great track. This one took me a little bit longer to get into when I first listened to the album, but it's really like catchy, but it's got different parts to it, kind of like it starts out and ends like completely different from what it starts out. But I think, I don't know, I got into it pretty quick. I really like just the instrumental parts on it. I really like Andrew's vocal on it. Third track, The Youth, another good one, but this one I've always liked a little bit less than the first two tracks just because it's a little bit more repetitive, but it's still catchy and a pretty cool song overall. Fourth track, Electric Feel. This is probably my least favorite of the three like singles or hits or whatever. I think this is actually the biggest one. At least it's the one I usually hear people play. But yeah, not my favorite of the three. I like the keyboard stuff in it, but yeah, I don't know. It's the catchy song. I see why people like it, and I mean I do like it, but I like definitely like Time to Pretend and Kids more. And speaking of Kids, that's the next track. This is the first song I heard by these guys, so it does have a little bit of like I don't know. It's kind of special for that reason, but still really good song, really catchy. That main like keyboard riff, really catchy. Really like Andrew's vocal on it too. Just a really great track. Next you have Fourth Dimensional Transition. This is one that took a while to grow on me. Kind of different. And so I feel like the latter half of this album is where they get a little bit less poppy, a little bit less catchy. So some of these kind of took longer for me to get into, but I really like a lot of them now. And this one, it also has like some of these ones, the titles. I'm always ranting about this, but some songs, like their titles, make it hard for me to remember what they sound like by just looking at the title. Because other times you look at it and you're like, oh, that's that one, because it mentions the title like mentions a certain part of the song, or usually like the catchy part of the song. But other times when songs just have kind of random names, like you look at the title and it's like, I can't remember what that sounds like. But it's because the title doesn't have anything to do with it. At least for me, is why it makes it hard to remember what it sounds like. Because then, like, once I put it on, I'm like, oh yeah, it's that one. Sorry, I'm kind of ranting. So yeah, this got some pretty cool instrumental stuff, and definitely one that's grown on me. The next track, Pieces of What, this has always been a favorite of mine. It starts out with kind of like an acoustic-y thing going on, and it kind of picks up as it goes along. I really like when the drums kick in. Really catchy like vocal melody. I love Andrew's vocal. Real highlight. The 8th track, Moons, Birds, and Monsters. This one, another one that took me a little bit to get into, and it's another one of those ones that has like different parts to it. But now I really like it. I really like the kind of ending instrumental, like outro part of it. It just sounds really cool. The 9th track, The Handshake. This one, kind of not crazy about the way it starts out, but I like it more and more kind of as it gets into it. Whenever I like look at the name of it though, I always just remember the ending part of it because it says The Handshake like over and over again. So that's kind of the only part of it I usually remember, and then like once I hear the beginning of it, I'm like, oh, I always forget how it starts out. So that beginning part of it will probably like grow on me. Because really, like when I was younger and listened to this album a lot, I kind of just would turn it off after Moons, Birds, and Monsters. So I've listened to The Handshake and the last track a lot less than most of the other stuff on here. And the last track, Future, my handwriting's so bad I can't read it, Future Reflections. This one, probably my least favorite track on the album, and that's honestly probably because I've listened to it the least. It's another one of those ones like I can't remember what it sounds like just by looking at the title. But I don't think it's bad or anything. It's just one that it's not like the catchiest song on here, so it doesn't really like stick in my head. So yeah, MGMT, Oracular Spectacular, really strong debut album. Is it my favorite of their albums? No. Probably is a lot of people's favorite. It might be like the only one a lot of people know because it has their hits. But I don't know, not my favorite, but probably a good place to start with them because it's them at their most like poppy and catchy. Their later albums, they kind of start getting away from that, which I think is good, but some people probably won't. So yeah, really strong debut album for MGMT.